You've got to have a horse hair in it.
The contract says gloves that are approved by the British Boxing Board. That's what it says.
The gloves are approved by the British Boxing Board. You should be
Absolutely, these guys.
These are your number ones. Alright?
It's not okay. It's not okay. We've specified all the way through that we don't want horses.
They haven't involved the Boxing Board of Control. And the Boxing Board of Control are the people who approve the gloves.
At the final press conference, Chris Eubank Jr. arrived with quiet intensity, wasting no words and making it clear he knew exactly what he came to say. With the spotlight firmly on him, he emphasized that a lifetime of clean, relentless work had led him to this moment. No shortcuts, no excuses, just raw will and honed experience. Dismissing the weight debate that had surrounded the fight's buildup, Eubank Jr. declared, "This fight isn't about size or weight. It's about skill and dedication. It's about expertise. And in all of those areas, I excel." He leaned heavily on his years in the sport, not as a number, but as a decisive edge. This wasn't a man preparing for a brawl, but a technician ready to display his craft, stating with composed authority, "I'm a complete fighter. I've been doing this for so long now I've forgotten more things than he even knows, and that will show on the night." His calm delivery, unshaken demeanor, and razor-sharp words suggested not arrogance, but deep certainty. And with a final flourish that landed like a warning, he added, "The procedure will be parliamentary. Everything will go the way I want it to go. I will be like a matador in the ring, and Conor Benn will be the bull." The message was crystal clear. Eubank Jr. isn't coming to fight on Benn's terms. He's coming to dominate, to dictate the pace, to teach. While the crowd may expect a war, in Eubank's mind it's already a calculated lesson in control. Yet even as he painted that picture of superiority and calm, Conor Benn answered with fire and hunger, showing he hadn't come for mind games. He came to remind everyone why he belongs in this fight in the first place.
This is what I do. I love this game. This is what I live for. You know, this is every fighter's dream when they turn professional to live this life. You know, there was no more pressure than a 19-year-old kid with no amateur experience walking out to a packed O2 arena. That's pressure. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years and you know, I'm more than prepared, more than ready. You know, we should.
Benn spoke from the heart, raw, unfiltered, and without a script. This wasn't a rehearsed speech, but the voice of a fighter who's lived and breathed boxing since day one. He made it clear that pressure isn't something new. It's been a constant in his journey. With 10 years in the sport, battle-tested and still burning with the same fire that brought him here, Benn made one thing clear: Saturday night can't come soon enough. His words weren't just confident, they were hungry. You could hear the urgency in his tone. He's not just prepared, he's itching for the moment. But while Benn delivered his message with passion and defiance, Eubank Jr. wasn't impressed. He shot back with a cold, pointed response, one that went beyond boxing and struck a far more personal chord.
Conor speaks about pressure and dealing with it, but you know, there's a reason why he had his training camp in Spain. You know, the kid had to flee his own country to prepare for this fight. He knew that he couldn't handle the pressure of, you know, walking these UK streets and having people shouting out drug cheat and egg jokes. He didn't want to be involved in any of that. So he took himself away, he hid away, and you know, now he's back, and now he thinks he can use me to kind of get back into the good graces. You know, I haven't fled. I haven't hid away from anything. I've been in these streets. I've been to gyms all over London over the last 2 months. I've been and spoke to kids. I've done all the media obligations I've needed to do around the country. I've felt the energy on the streets of the UK over these last 2 months, and it's real. You know, people are invested in this. You know, everywhere I go, people are screaming, and most of the time it's positive, which it's a new thing for me. I'm still getting used to that, but you know, I am happy with the place I am at mentally. I don't think Conor can say the same thing. I think he's feeling the pressure and the heat I think he's feeling that, and he's going to feel a hell of a lot more.
Just days out from the fight, the tension between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn reached a new level. Eubank Jr. took aim at Benn's mental fortitude, questioning his decision to train abroad as a sign he couldn't handle the pressure at home. For Eubank, staying in the UK wasn't just about routine, it was a statement. He's walked through local gyms, faced fans, dealt with scrutiny head-on, and in his view, that's the true test of a fighter's resolve. Not just the bout itself, but the chaos that surrounds it. And by that measure, he believes Benn has yet to prove himself. But Benn wasn't about to let that slide. He addressed the criticism head-on, speaking not just as a fighter, but as someone still battling to clear his name. He acknowledged the cloud hanging over him since the failed drug test, calling it probably a faulty test, and stressed that efforts to uncover the truth are still ongoing. For Benn, this isn't just about defending an unbeaten record. It's about defending his identity. He stood firm, asserting that the numbers never added up, and that he's been caught in something far bigger than boxing. The fight outside the ring, he said, has been just as real as any challenge he's faced. Inside it, with growing frustration, Benn turned the focus to what's been overlooked. His clean UCAD tests, his consistent record over 7 years as a pro, his commitment in and out of camp. "My innocence will be proven," he stated firmly. "I passed all my UCAD tests, which people aren't talking about. I've never failed a test in 7 years as a professional. This wasn't just damage control. It was a plea for fairness, for his full story to be heard." He's not asking for sympathy, only for balance. The defiance in his voice carried the weight of someone who's had to fight for more than just wins. Someone trying to reclaim his name. With fight night fast approaching, Benn made it clear that the noise, the scrutiny, and the doubt won't break him. His focus is locked in, and he's bringing that fire into the ring.
On your manifesto of what happens and in response to Chris, are you feeling the pressure?
No pressure. I live for this. I've had the fight over 100 times in my head. For me, it's just focusing on the training, removing myself from my comfort zones, my familiarities, my family, and, fully dialing in. I'm not going to allow myself to Chris and go back and forth and, all that PR's done. I'm excited to get in there and put my hands on him Saturday night. Irrelevant of all the rubbish he wants to talk and names and, we're not at school. And come Saturday night, gets put me.
Benn spoke with a calm, focused intensity, revealing that he's already visualized the fight 100 times in his mind. For him, the build-up, the headlines, and the back and forth have become background noise. Distractions he's now tuned out. Stepping away from comfort and familiarity, he's fully immersed himself in the challenge ahead. There was no appetite for more trash talk or theatrics. In his eyes, the talking is over. It's time to let his fists speak. But just as the atmosphere began to cool, the tension reignited. The two fighters came face to face, and what began as light barbs quickly escalated. The tone shifted sharply, and the air thickened with hostility as jokes gave way to pointed, personal digs. The calm had broken, replaced once again by the raw edge of a rivalry boiling over.
Be at school on Saturday, my friend. I'm taking
Well
you back to
done,
school.
well done you.
At school, I'm going to be the headmaster, my friend.
Yeah.
And you will be in detention.
You are funny, Chris. You made me laugh. Just focus on getting the weight off, fat boy.
Weight. What's weight? Weight is, everyone always talking about this weight thing. Yeah. The weight is painful.
Yeah, good.
I'm in pain right now. I'll be in even more pain tonight and tomorrow morning.
And the worst pain you've ever experienced comes Saturday night. I promise you that right now.
The question I ask myself is, what is pain?
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm serious. What is it?
Oh, shut up.
What is it?
Eubank Jr. kicked things off with a trademark smirk, mocking Conor Benn with the cool arrogance of a man who sees himself as the teacher facing a schoolboy. It was classic Eubank, calm, cocky, and calculated. But Benn wasn't amused. He shot back, calling out the weight cut and dismissing the sarcasm with sharp intent. Then the mood changed. The smile vanished from Ben's face as he stared Eubank down and promised a level of pain he's never experienced before. The energy shifted. This was no longer banter, it was a warning. The message was clear. On Saturday night, the talking stops. After Ben jabbed at the weight issue, suggesting Eubank was struggling behind the scenes, the tone of the exchange took a turn no one saw coming. Eubank dropped the jokes, peeled away the showmanship, and responded with something raw and real, stripped of ego, revealing the seriousness beneath the performance.
I have a 31-year-old brother. He is buried in the desert in Dubai. That's pain.
Chris Eubank Jr. spoke about pain, but not the kind most fighters talk about. He wasn't referring to the weight cut, the hunger, or the physical toll of a training camp. Instead, he opened up about something far deeper, personal loss and emotional scars that cut through the sport entirely. In that moment, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The noise faded, the bravado melted away, and for a brief second, the press conference stood still. Eubank wasn't performing. He was speaking from a place of real vulnerability, and the contrast was striking. He made it clear that what he's endured outside the ring, the kind of pain that reshapes a person, makes anything he faces in boxing feel small by comparison. Weight clauses, rehydration demands, the endless noise around the fight. None of it matters when you've already survived life's hardest hits. His words weren't just aimed at Conor Benn, they were a statement to everyone watching. Eubank wasn't there to sell a fight. He was there to remind people that he's already been through battles no camera caught, and it's those experiences that now fuel his fire. There was a gravitas to his tone, a sense that this rematch is more than just a sporting event. It's part of something much bigger for him. It's not about revenge or headlines. It's about purpose. And he didn't stop there. Eubank made it clear that everything about this second clash with Ben feels different. The tone, the tension, the stakes. He's not approaching this fight like the last one, and he's certainly not treating Ben like the same opponent. To him, Ben is now more than a rival. He's a symbol of everything that's been said, doubted, and questioned. And Eubank wants to answer all of it the only way he knows how, by showing up, taking control, and walking through the fire. As the moment settled, the message was unmistakable. Eubank Jr. is not fighting for pride alone. He's fueled by something far more powerful than ego, real pain, lived experience, and a deep need to prove that he's still standing not in spite of the hardship, but because of it. And on fight night, he plans to show exactly what that kind of resilience looks like.
The percentages anymore. That was for the first time around before Conor got caught cheating. Now it's about, preparing to get this kid out of boxing. We're not taking him lightly anymore. He should have taken the chance he had in that first fight. When I was underestimating, when I was, playing, when I was taking him lightly, that was his best shot. And now it's gone, because now I have a duty to boxing, to the public, to the fans who he's lied to, who Eddie Hearn's lied to for the last 2-3 years. I have a duty to erase these guys from the picture.